The reason we're here is because the GOP's immigration policy doesn't represent the best interests of the American people. But also, they're holding a panel at 12:10 against Russia. That's also being sponsored by the Log Cabin Republicans, who are there because of Russia's traditional marriage stance and defense of Christian values. So we're here both for, especially as Jeb Bush is now the anointed for the GOP establishment to be
I don't know
candidate
about
for
that,
2016. So against his amnesty and immigration policy, and then also for the situation with Russia, to stand in support of a nation that stands for Christian values.
Okay, and who's here with you today?
Just a lot of friends. Daryl, do you want to sign?
Nah, I think I'll pass.
How about a beer later?
I don't drink. I see Ron Doggett here. What's going on, man?
Do you have anything else to do on your weekend?
This is CPAC. I'm always here. I'm learning more about what's going on in Russia, but I'm not a fan of Dugin at all. Dugin just wants to change the Soviet Union into Nazi Russia.
No.
He wants to reunite Russia as it was in the days of the Soviet Union, as it was, to make it, what was it, Eurasianism? Yeah.
But the most important thing is that Dugin's position is he supports nationalists around the world. He's against globalism.
He's not a big fan of the West, though.
He's not a big fan of the West, but because of how the West has been acting in regards to
what he said in particular is that he is for the Western people, but not the Western governments.
Yeah,
And
I think that's fair.
but he hasn't been over here. He hasn't spoken to the Western people. Otherwise, you wouldn't see me out there. But the thing is, I don't know if anybody wants a fascist state in Russia. They don't want to go the other way. You call it traditionalism, I call it fascism. I mean, it is what it is.
You know, Daryl, can't you see the fundamental differences between different ideologies? Like,
course
it's so
I can.
monolithic. Like, you label everybody a fascist.
No, I do not. I am being very nuanced when I say that. I am very nuanced.
So you truly...
That's why you never hear me refer to, say, Jared Taylor or anyone as neo-Nazi, because they're not. They're not National Socialists in any size, shape, or form. But they are WP. They are white supremacists.
Well, you know, we're not white supremacists.
I don't know about that because you promote eugenics. You believe that black people are genetically inferior.
Hold on. Since when have I supported eugenics?
HBD? HBD?
What about it?
Do you believe in it?
I believe that there are biological differences between peoples.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. There's a difference. Okay, I believe in differences, but that doesn't mean accepting supremacism.
If you say that there
are differences.
And what are those differences are? You got to basically be
There's a lot of differences.
like,
I mean, everything from height to the impact of different diseases, you know, things people are more prone to. Some people are faster, some people are stronger. There are different skill
but
sets.
is it based on race to you?
There are definitely racial traits.
Racial traits. How about in the areas of intelligence?
Yeah, there's differences.
Okay, you're beating around that little bush there. You know where I'm getting at.
I'm acknowledging there are differences in different groups.
But that's what I am talking about when I say supremacy. You do believe that whites are superior to black people in that regard. That's the supremacy part.
No,
and I kill.
Am I saying that whites are the smartest? Because I think we all know from the studies that the
I just want to get
Japanese
that there.
and you know, the Jewish population on average have higher IQs than the whites. So whites are not. So wouldn't that make me like a Japanese supremacist then?
Well, that's the dodge, but it's still.
I want to answer that question. If I don't think that whites are superior, or
if you do not believe that whites are superior to other people like the Asians, that doesn't mean that you don't think you're superior. You're not superior.
But we're not talking about superiority, because haven't I gone and met with black nationalists who support self-determination?
In regards to separation, that's always happening. I mean, like I said before, I've been doing this for 25 years.
Right, so
I hear the same thing over and over again.
But if I actually go and show respect to nationalists of all different races, and I want the same thing for them that I want for my people. I'm not trying to bring back segregation. I'm not trying to go and...
What did you say? What are you looking for? A self-determination. Does that mean... Okay, if that means we remain united as one nation, for example, is that okay?
If we follow the example of the South African Constitution.
Wrong answer. You just endorse white supremacy.
No. Right, question. Okay,
Which South African government? The one current?
Yes.
You serious?
Yes, look at the South
The
African
one that
Constitution.
you called Nelson Mandela a terrorist when
And
he
was.
died.
But I'm talking about
But
specifically.
he was the one that put it in order. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Listen to what the Constitution says. The Constitution of South Africa says that every tribal group has a right to its own homeland, which is why the Afrikaners can have places now like Oranje, where the Afrikaner tribe can have its own homeland within the greater state of South Africa. So I think we'd all be more than willing to discuss the idea that if our tribal identity, we were allowed to have our own homeland in like a modified reservation system.
So basically, see, here's my other thing though. Wait, first of all, you're not talking about the apartheid system that South Africa
I'm not talking
had.
about the apartheid system. We're talking about the post-apartheid constitution.
Where you're totally separate.
Yeah, I'm talking about
That's
that
where
every group would be allowed to have its own tribal homeland within the same state.
And self-determination, is there any other way of having self-determination that doesn't involve separation?
I think we have the right to it. I mean,
Well, no. Is there any other way? Can we have a multicultural society?
I mean,
I'm gonna say it just like that.
Are you saying can we? Because we obviously already
No,
have a
no, no.
multicultural society.
Will it be acceptable to you?
I would keep working for for self-determination for every group of people because I truly believe that's
You're
the right
beating
thing.
around the bush
No,
again.
I'm not beating around the bush, Daryl. I think every people has that right.
Every people have that right. You said that a couple of
Right,
times.
so question,
but the
why-
question I have is that are you okay with a multicultural state?
No.
There. That's all. That's what needs to be said.
Racism? Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna let you take care of this, my man.
So you support amnesty?
I want to know why you're here with a racist flag here.
I'm not a Christian, and they're not my brothers. But if they are your Christian brothers, I'd say that you could probably pick a better.
Think about who?
Think about our crew. I mean, you know anything about Russia?
I know
You know
about
they can't even produce their own food. You know they have to have chicken subsidized by the millions of dollars of
So
hardworking taxpaying
wait a
Americans.
second. You're saying that
I'm saying that they're about as useless as you. You guys are a useless
we're
entity out here.
we're useless.
Okay,
so considering Russia produces,
what union are you with?
I'm not with a union.
None of you are with a union. So the
No, actually, here's the thing.
So the half,
We're
two
not-
dozen of you just jumped in a fucking VW
Yeah, you don't
bus
understand.
Hippies all around me. Hippies. Hippies.
We're not leftists. We're actually nationalists.
No.
We think that CPAC is leftist.
That's interesting. What you are is racist. It's just annoying. You're not getting anywhere. You wasted your gas money.
So it's
you wasted
it's racist.
your
It's
time.
it's racist to support a position of not getting into another Cold War with Russia. Hold on. It's racist to not support $1 billion of military aid going to kill Eastern
buzzwords are fun.
Ukrainians.
Buzzwords are fun. That's all great. That's
okay.
all fine.
Okay,
But you know
so
what?
you're throwing
There-
out buzzwords as your fundamental argument.
Okay. You know what? There are people who are actually.
This dude
like,
here is
share the
literally
same
hiding
sentiment.
behind his
You know what? I've
flag.
seen them, and a lot of them jumped on a fucking plane and went to Ukraine, and they're over there. So if Russians are your white Christian brothers, what are you doing at CPAC, dude? It's a bunch of college kids.
Not just
They don't know
college
shit
kids.
about
You
your
have
cause.
you have the elites of the Republican Party who are holding
They're
a
never
panel.
gonna- they're-
They are holding a panel
That's
today
right.
against Russia.
Most people in here hate elites anyway, and the
Then
bottom
why do
line
they
is-
dress like them and clap for them? That's my question. Why do you go and support the elites?
You know, some people have to have real fucking jobs. We can't all
Real-
come up
real
here
jobs.
and fucking hang out on Saturday.
Okay. So when I work Monday through Friday, that's not good enough.
I don't know where you work Monday through Friday.
You're always out
If-
and
if your
about. Where do
employer-
you
let me ask
work?
you something.
Bro.
Wherever you work Monday through Friday, whatever you do, if your
You're
employer
in
knew you
Greece
were
in
up here
1
with these
minute.
signs, you think he'd be proud of you?
My employer does know, actually.
Okay, that's interesting. You should think about that.
Really?
Like you should probably gauge what that means about you.
It should probably mean that I don't support war.
You can support whatever you want, dude. You can be a racist. I'm okay with you being a racist. That's
Matt, that's the thing though.
Here's the
You're
problem.
you're going
I'm
all
just-
around
I
the
just want to-
country
I
every
want
time I turn around.
I
How
want to
all around the
thoroughly
globe?
explain that
When you have a boss who supports you, it's
it's such a
helpful.
waste, dude. Like
What's a
you
waste?
can do
To-
whatever
to-
you
wait,
want.
To stand against war is a waste.
Who do you think is a bigger enemy to your cause? Okay, people in this building, college students who came here to get drunk and had a bad time, or you think it's actually like you have to have some opposition, right? Like if there's a spectrum, you're on
No,
one
here's
end.
the thing.
You're on
No,
one end, and
because-
fucking Louis Farrakhan's on the other. But really,
I
you're the
like
s-
Louis Farrakhan,
Really, you're the same
so,
thing. Like
okay.
you're the same people. You need to get in a fucking cabin and hang out like us.
I would love to hang out with
I agree. I think
So,
you would probably
okay,
kick
so my
your ass.
question is, if you really want to look at what CPAC represents, the center-right, the Republican Party, has been taking...
CPAC doesn't represent anything. You represent something.
You know,
CPAC is a gathering of tens of thousands of people with tens of
that
thousands
don't
of different
stand
ideas.
for anything
Everyone
except
in here
supporting the global
votes for different
elites.
people. They have different opinions. They
And
come
they
from different
all
places.
support
You
the
represent
elites.
one ideology.
You represent the elites. You
This
are
coming from a guy who
supporting-
posed in the picture with Breitbart. So
Hey, you know what? Andrew Breitbart, he definitely shook things up with the political system. You know, and that's a fact. But
So you are claiming Andrew Breitbart's name with your cause. You think he would support you?
I don't know. But
You'd be
I
fucking.
I like
just,
a lot.
he finds
Okay.
you despicable.
That's
He would
great.
call. I've
No,
seen
he wouldn't
him
either, but
call
that's
you
another
out.
story.
Excuse me. Just so you know, Andrew Breitbart, I have seen call out plants like you and all your buddies at Tea Party rallies across the nation. You come into this shit, they call you out. They kick you out.
Okay, so I would have to be the most amazingly involved plant. Daryl, you've been following me for what, like 5 or 6 years now?
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Seriously, that is a
doesn't matter
freaking
if you're an
ridiculous
organization
dedication
by
to my
plant.
craft if I'm a plant.
So what's your organization? What do you?
League of the South.
Okay, and what you like take donations online, and what do you do?
We support the self-determination of the Southern people.
So you drink 40s in your garage. Or what you,
Ironically, the League of the South also supports Southern secession, as they did in the Civil War. So if you notice, there aren't any American flags flying over here.
So, what are your thoughts on secession? It was good enough for George Washington, right?
You know what?
Well, no,
Actually,
my
I think
attitude.
the country's
Well,
at
no,
a bit
you
of a
go.
breaking point. I think you have a couple routes to go. You either have like Article 5, you have people who really believe in nullification. There's a fair argument. But you guys
So
are
would
at
you
the
like
bottom of the barrel.
flag? If you support secession, would you like a flag?
I don't support secession.
You don't.
No, I do, but I do support
But you do-
self-determination of people to protect themselves
You
against
do
enemies,
support the
foreign and domestic.
self-determination. So you support self-determination to be able to break apart and create our own organic communities.
You're not
Do
that-
you or do you not support self-determination?
You're not that.
That's fine. I might be the worst activist in the world, but I want to know: do you or do you not support self-determination? You said you did. Do you or do you not?
Every free man has to, man. And I,
Every free
I
man-
support your right to be out here, but I just want to let you know, you have bigger fucking problems than CPAC.
What time is it?
For what you believe. Yeah, I really think you do, man.
I have problems.
And you know what? Because of idiots like you won't get like a half-ass president. You'll get Hillary, dude. You might as well stand out
you know
here,
what?
paint that white, and fucking hashtag Hillary 2016. 'Cause it's on you guys.
You know what?
It's on you guys.
That's great. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Glad we can help.
Fucking get lost. I'll see you in
You know
South
what?
Carolina, bro. Yeah.
No difference between Hillary and you.